Welcome back to Bets of the North, the preview. Doug Lesmerises and Tyler Shoemaker. We are here to just get some vibes, T-Shoe, about what we may be doing on Friday morning when we will bring you our best bets, including our $500 real money bet of the week that we nailed a week ago. Notre Dame +3. How'd you feel watching that come in against Texas A&M on Saturday night?
It was very tight. It was a sweat, but I did feel, even if I didn't see the scoreboard throughout the game, it felt watching it like Notre Dame was just doing a little bit more. I thought Connor Wegman missed a lot of throws for A&M that could have kept them alive. Honestly, from a power rating perspective, I didn't really make much of an adjustment to either team. It kind of played out as expected. I would still favor Notre Dame by about 4.5 now, which is what I had the line before the game. And we saw, they won by 10.
I thought that played out that like your number I thought was right. That you thought Notre Dame was a better team than Texas A&M, basically, right? Even though the line, Notre Dame was getting 3, it made me think I like where T-Shoe's ratings are. And again, this is like a proprietary thing that you have, that you come up with team ratings. Me, on the other hand, big whiff on coach vibes. I took a parlay, Oregon and Washington both over. They both scored, the totals for both games were 38. Washington, the over would have been 52.5. Oregon, the over would have been 62.5. So totally off on that. So we are up $334.78 overall because Notre Dame -115. We won $434.78 with our $500 bet, and then we lost my $100 plus money shot. And so I apologize. So here we are. We like to wait to make the actual picks until late Thursday afternoon to get them to the people on Friday, T-Shoe, because then we have more information. But what are you doing early in the week when the lines first come out? How do you react to that? And what's different on Sunday, Monday compared to what might be happening with you on Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, so this is where my numbers really come in handy, is on these openers. So when the openers come out, usually Sunday afternoon, I'm looking immediately like, okay, where do I have huge discrepancies? And then my next step is, which way does it look like the market may be going? Now, sometimes it's a bad read. Sometimes the market will move a half point or a point in favor of my number. So I'll make a bet, and then the line will come back 3 points the other way against me. So there is risk involved, but I do trust my numbers enough that, like, if my number gives me a big enough edge and I see that at least some sharp guys early are betting the same way, I'll go ahead and fire away. But then later in the week, my process becomes, okay, yes, I'm still using my numbers. Obviously, that's my baseline. But then it becomes, okay, what lines have gone too far the other way? Has a line, usually like 3 points on a spread would be like where I'm looking like, okay, this has moved 3 full points. Let's see what we can get here. Because a lot of times these lines will move, especially early in the season. These lines will move 3 to 5 points, which is in most cases too many, because usually odds makers, their opening line is their algorithm telling you what it thinks. And it's not necessarily that wrong usually. So you get a line move 5 points or more, and my number agrees with it. That's usually a bet for me as well late in the week.
Okay. So again, I'm wearing the king's crown today because we are kings, because we hit this thing. This is real money that we are betting. We're betting $500 on our best bet every week, real money, and then $50 or $100 on the plus money shot. And the idea is we're going to give at least $5,000 to charity at the end of the year. That was our starting bankroll. But if we're ahead, we're giving more to charity. So this matters, T-Shoe. One of our previous shows, we also talked about early lines. 2 games have really moved from where we talked about them in the preseason. I remember talking about Texas, Michigan. It was only a 3.5 point spread favoring Texas at that point. That's over a touchdown now. And you talked about NC State, Tennessee. I think it might have been Tennessee -4.5 when you talked about it, and you thought it would move. And that one's moved also, right?
Yep. Yeah. Both of those now, depending on where you look, are north of a touchdown. I think the last time I checked the Tennessee line, you can't get less than 7.5 pretty much across the board. Texas, I think there were still some 7s out there, but 7.5 at some places. So, we called that. And now we've got to make the decision of like, okay, let's look at the updated TSI numbers. Let's see what your gut says, and we'll see if we come back on the other side of those that moved, because I did I did like Tennessee early, and the Texas line early when it was 3.5 was about right at my number, so I didn't have a strong play. But now that it's moved a few points, now we got to take another look and see if maybe we come back on Michigan there.
Yeah, that would be interesting because I would have really liked Texas at 3.5. I'm not sure about over a touchdown, but now Michigan really maybe comes back into play if they get a little bit more from the quarterback. The defense is really good, but I know you're looking at some stuff. On Friday morning, we're going to drop the actual bets, the big money bet, a couple other best bets from you, a couple other best bets from me, plus the plus money bet. I think besides the $500 one, I think you and I each went 1-1 on the other best bets that week. Is that last week? Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Georgia State lost. They had first and goal and failed to get any points. And had they even just kicked a field goal there, we would have cashed that one. So nice. That's how betting goes.
Thanks, Georgia. Although I kind of lucked out with Pitt because I liked Pitt minus 28.5, and they scored 1 million, but their defense and special teams gave up points, and they found a way to still cover that. So thanks to Eli Holstein and Pat Narduzzi. Where's your head maybe for what we might be doing on Friday morning? Is there one of those bets that you're thinking about right now?
Yeah, I think the Ohio State Western Michigan total is very interesting to me. My early projection on that is 72. The line's 54. That's really. I mean, I literally went and double checked my numbers to make sure there wasn't something wrong. Okay. I think this is a case where both teams kind of played an aberrant game last week. Western Michigan got kind of into a rock fight with Wisconsin. Ohio State kind of messed around with Akron for a while and then had a couple defensive scores late. But I expect the Ohio State offense to get back into gear, and I expect the Western Michigan defense to turn back into the turnstile that it was all of last year.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, especially getting 55 is a key number on totals, it's like the most key number. So if we're getting under that, I like the over in Ohio State, Western Michigan right now.
Wow. An 18-point difference between your numbers and what the total is. That must be as big as you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. That's an edge of 33%, which is about as high as it gets.
Okay. Wow. Very interesting. Well, we'll see what winds up being our best bets, our plus money pick, and our $500 real money bet. Come find us every Friday morning during the season on Bets of the North. We have a good time. We also try to make some money for charity and maybe make some money for you. Definitely heard from some folks, T-Shoe, this week that rode with us, and we're very excited about the Notre Dame pick.
Yeah. Great interaction on Twitter all weekend. Had a great time. Glad we were able to cash some bets and excited to get back for week 2.
All right. We will do it Friday morning. We hope you join us. He's Tyler Shoemaker. I'm Doug Lesmerises. We'll see you Friday right here on the Kings of the North channel for Bets of the North.